I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is, can Terrence Crawford recapture #1 pound-for-pound status with a victory over Sean Porter? Of course, he was #1. Canelo overtook him, and Canelo just had a spectacular performance against Caleb Plant. And Terrence Crawford's fighting on November 20th. And so if he has an impressive performance against Sean Porter, can he recapture his #1 pound-for-pound status? I'm gonna turn it over to you, G. What's your reaction to that? What's your answer to that?
The answer is hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Canelo literally just became undisputed, bro. Like, even if TC beats Porter, like, Porter doesn't have any hardware. Well, you know what I mean? Essentially. So, and not to mention, like, Porter has a few losses. So it's just not the same as, beating a bunch of guys who are champions. You know what I'm saying? And then Canelo did like 4 fights in the past couple of months. You know what I'm saying? It seems like every 2 months Canelo's fighting somebody. So it's going to be hard to take back the #1 pound for pound from Canelo. Like, that's, I just don't see it. So
I'm sorry, actually, and I don't mean to cut you off, G. They're actually, and we probably could have changed the title or whatever, but just hit me. Does everyone even have Canelo at #1 now? Because it was Usyk. There was some debate between Usyk and Canelo. So question, who do you have at #1? And I will change. We'll change it. So I apologize. Who do you have as #1 pound for pound? And can Terrence Crawford surpass them with a victory over Sean Porter? So,
this is tough. Man, I didn't expect this question.
I apologize. That's
actually good.
It's automatically like Canelo. But actually, there's Usyk in there, so
I'll say this: there's no way that TC could get above Usyk or Canelo. I know that, you know what I'm saying. But damn, man, it's kind of tough, man. Because you know what, I would say I'm gonna give Canelo #1 pound for pound. Only reason why is because the pound for pound list wasn't necessarily made for heavyweights, so. But because Usyk started off as a cruiserweight, that's why it's tough. So I'm gonna give Usyk #2. So so Canelo, he's my #1 right now.
All right, True Dollar Bill. Who do you have at #1, and can TC surpass them with a victory over Sean Porter?
I don't know. I don't know who I got at #1. I don't know. Y'all know who I got at #1. It wasn't never even a debate. Even after Usyk won, I still had my guy #1, the face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. I have him #1, and no, I didn't have him #1 before. I think he has more to do. So he got a way to go. So no, we all know the sport. No boxing, no life.
Med to TBE.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me. I just like. You're never getting that spot back, TC. I don't see it happening. The only way it happens is if you unify and then you become undisputed at your weight class, and beating Sean Porter. I don't see it because Canelo, Usyk have accomplished so much that they're 1 and 2, and you're not even 3. I think you're like 5. So yeah.
All right. Well, for me, I think the pound for pound list is a "what have you done for me lately" type of list. So after Usyk beat Anthony Joshua, I felt like he was #1 based on the fact that he had just accomplished a victory. Canelo has a fight pending, and you don't know the result of that fight, although most of us kind of already knew the result of that fight. You just got to wait for the result of that fight. So I do think at that particular point in time, Alexander Usyk was the #1 pound for pound. But with Canelo becoming undisputed in the performance that he put on against Caleb Plant, the way he got Plant out of there, and you got to look at the caliber of fighters that Canelo was doing this to. He's making Callum look like he's nothing. He's running through Billy Joe Saunders, and you saw what he just did to Caleb Plant. Also, you just seen, because we showed it from Michael Benson's tweet, his accomplishments by the age of 31 years old, in which Canelo Alvarez is younger than Terrence Crawford and Alexander Usyk. And he's accomplished all those things. I think it goes without saying that Canelo Alvarez is number one pound for pound. Now you go at number 2 pound for pound, and here we're talking about a man in Alexander Usyk who was undisputed at cruiserweight in the 4-belt era, much like Terrence Crawford was undisputed at 140 in the 4-belt era. Usyk moved up in weight, much like Terrence Crawford has moved up in weight. The difference is Usyk's unified at heavyweight, and Terrence Crawford hasn't at welterweight. The difference is Usyk has beaten a unified champion in the division that he's currently in, and Terrence Crawford hasn't done that.
And he did it in his third fight, mind you.
In his third fight, by the way. And people can sit there and make the argument about across the street. You don't sit in those rooms. You're not a part of the negotiations, so you don't know. All I know is this. These promotional companies are working together now. And as much as you want to say it's across the street, I know that once the WBO ordered Porter versus Crawford, that's when Bob Arum was able to get it done. But prior to that, he was saying Sean Porter wanted too much money. You remember that? He was saying Sean Porter wanted too much money and it was impossible to get the deal done. It wasn't until it was ordered, meaning either you make the fight happen or it's going to go to a purse bid. And the purse bid would have been a 60-40 split for TC getting 60, Porter getting 40. And you saw what just happened with Trilla and Teofimo Lopez and Cambosis. So that was the last thing Bob wanted to happen. So Bob came out of the pockets this time. So I don't want to hear the across the street stuff. All I know is the facts is what I know. I know Canelo's accomplished more than TC, and he's done more than Usyk at a younger age, and he just became undisputed last night. So number one, Usyk has done more than Terrence Crawford. They're around the same age. Usyk has done more than Terrence Crawford. And so for that reason, I got Usyk at number 2. I think Usyk has more impressive victories than Terrence Crawford. We're still trying to see what Terrence Crawford can do against an elite level opponent. Well, I know what Usyk can do against an elite level opponent because I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and he's unified. So for me, I got Canelo 1, Usyk 2, and a victory over Sean Porter if he does it as well as Earl Spence did it, if he does it as well as Kell Brook did it, if he does it as well as Keith Thurman did it, not even saying better, if he can just do it as well, or if he could even win the fight, then we'll talk about TC in the 3rd spot.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe, and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros. I'm the commissioner, Trill Dollar Bill. I got to step out right now, but y'all are in good hands with my bros, and they going to carry it on. Much love to the Boxing Bros community. Much love to my bros right here. It's the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.